Hey guys, Josh up here with a video on how to prevent that pesky level 2 jungle cheese invade. I'm sure you've all experienced it when you're sitting there taking your buff at level 2, minding your own business, and then suddenly out of nowhere an extremely rude enemy jungler comes in to ruin your day. You either lose your life, you lose your buff, or you lose both. The thing about these invades is that they're very effective while still being low risk. Also, they're easy and simple to do. As you can see, if a level 2 Shyvana can do them, then anyone can. Now that is great news if you're the one doing the invading, but if you're the one getting invaded, then it's not so good. So in this video, I'm going to give you some tips on how you can prevent that level 2 cheese. Before we get into the tips themselves, I want to make a quick point about warding, because warding is obviously a good strat to stop any invades, not just this level 2 cheese, but by itself, it doesn't necessarily stop those invades. All warding does is let you see the enemy coming so you can get your team to help you. But what if your team can't help you? What if they simply don't help you? In solo queue, it's best to have strategies to handle the situation by yourself rather than relying on your team. So that's what we're going to do today. The first tip is to simply start on a different side of the map while getting your bot side buff warded. This will mean you're free from the risk of being killed during an invade, but you can still respond should the enemy jungler attempt to steal your buff. It's important to note that the level 2 cheese revolves mostly around killing you, not the jungle, and whereas an unsuspecting low health jungler may be easy pickings and a risk-free target, stealing a buff is a little more tricky. I mean, if you think about it, if they start on your buff, they then become the target that they were initially trying to exploit. And of course, therefore, you can exploit them. This technique does require a little bit of cooperation from your team, but nothing compared to what you'd need if you wanted your team to come save you if you're being invaded. The dynamics are also a lot different. Rather than trying to save you, they're just trying to capitalize on a free kill. The stakes are also a lot lower. If worse comes to worse, then you're only going to lose your buff rather than your life. But hey, you don't even need your team in order to thwart this invade if you yourself have good positioning. And at the end of the day, should you feel like it's a lost cause, you can just go and invade their buff instead and play it safe. Now the last tip, and probably the best one in my opinion, is to start at your buff, not at your Krugs or your Gromp. The level 2 cheese revolves around the assumption that you'll be alone and vulnerable at your buff at level 2. However, if you start at the buff and then move on, not only will you not be around to be preyed upon by that cheeky invade, but you also remove the possibility of having one of your more valuable jungle assets, i.e. your buff, being stolen. In addition, and this is what makes this strat so gosh darn juicy, if you see the enemy jungler coming through to try and cheese you, you can actually turn the invader into the invaded, as this is a prime time to go and take his topside buff. It's free and it's undefended. So I hope you found these tips useful, guys. If you did, feel free to give the video a thumbs up, and if you want to see more from me, you can also subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of these tips and if you have any suggestions for others. But outside of that, guys, you can find me on Facebook, on Twitter, and catch me streaming on Twitch. All of those links are in the description. Most importantly, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video.